Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. It is exactly 9:42 a.m. We are now going to be joined by Irfaan Ahmed, Al-Imdaad Foundation. He's with Al-Imdaad Foundation. Obviously, he's going to report back on the devastation caused by Cyclone Freddy and the relief efforts by Al-Imdaad Foundation. And just to give you a bit of a background there, we do know that the storm that is Cyclone Freddy dumped the equivalent of 6 months of rain in just 6 days in Malawi. And of course, we do know that the waters swept through villages, towns, flooding offices and crop fields, destroying roads, bridges, and basic infrastructure. Parts of the country are still cut off from the rescue services. And of course, electricity and telecommunications are down as well. And of course, Irfaan Ahmed has been on the ground and is here to give us a detailed update on what exactly Al-Imdaad was able to achieve in the time that they were there assisting the Malawians. Assalamu alaikum to you, Irfaan Ahmed. Welcome to the program.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to you and your listeners and viewers out there.
Are you back in the country in South Africa, or are you still in Malawi?
Alhamdulillah, I just landed 2 days ago from Malawi. So I'm back in South Africa just to do a debriefing session with our office and various partners that we are working with.
You know, Irfaan, when we talk to people like you on the ground and we see visuals on TV, as horrific as it might be, you still, you know, we're not in the situation, so we don't feel the full impact of just how devastating it is. Tell us, you know, your own eyewitness account of how, when you first were exposed to Cyclone Freddy's devastation, what did it do to you, and how did you feel towards all of those people that were left totally homeless and destitute?
So alhamdulillah, from the day that I've landed, we've been on the ground and we've been trying to get into contact with government officials just to go through the areas which were hard hit. Our main focus was to see what's the reality on the ground and how we can provide relief aid as well as a rescue, search and rescue. And going through the areas, it was great challenge knowing that the road infrastructure and road accessibility was a great challenge. However, we have been through 2 areas where we found that camps. As you can see on those images there, over 2,000 people being displaced, awaiting for humanitarian organizations to provide such relief aid. And the look in those victims, their faces, the desperation, the need, it's undescribable. It just makes your heart feel so weak looking at these people's faces, especially the children out there. So schools have been closed, no medical attention. The greater need was there for shelters. As you can see on those images there, the shelter that was provided, 2,000 people won't be able to fit under those tent situations. So the need was for plastics, which they would make temporary shelters to live in. And going through such other areas where we couldn't reach out to, we were getting information from people that were living in the area across the river as well, to say, look, we are also in need of this assistance. Is there any way that you can provide such relief aid? And communication was a great challenge. As you did mention, electricity, we were only depending on people that were on the ground to give us such information and to provide such relief aid over across, going through those waters, trying to get helicopters and aircrafts to come in to assist as well. And there was such a great need for medical attention because most of those people were relying on hospitals that were in the greater areas. but in the deep rural areas where there's no medical facilities, we were relying on the choppers from Tanzania, Zambia, which they brought in. And Alhamdulillah, our rescue teams, Rescue South Africa, in partnership with Al-Imdaad Foundation, the team was made up of Nelson Mandela University, University of Johannesburg, and the Gauteng Department of Health, and the Al-Imdaad Foundation. We provided food aid, medical attention to those that were so desperate. And there was a few instances, just to highlight, where women needed serious attention. They were about to give birth, and there was no access on roads. So, however, Alhamdulillah, we managed with the Zambian government and the choppers to fly in those patients. And there were few other patients that were in serious medical attention. That was our highlight of our rescue mission. And Alhamdulillah, it was successful, and people are still in desperation. That's what I can say to you for now.
Okay, so Al-Imdaad was there. We understand there are other foreign aid agencies as well, and you worked hand in hand with them, which really does double up your efforts, alhamdulillah. We understand that almost 500,000 people have been affected. You are planning, obviously, to go back. You're just here to do a feedback session. What will you be taking back with you in terms of aid for the people of Malawi?
So the need on the ground is for food aid, plastic sheetings, so that those victims can actually build their temporary shelters. And it was quite amazing as to the temporary shelter that they built. It's just roof plastic, which they make onto a bamboo structure, and that's what they live in for now. So the need is for roof plastic sheetings, food aid, medical supplies. Water is of great need, as there were instances of areas that were being hit with cholera. So they are in great need for water as well.
Obviously, it's at this point where I ask you, how can we as a South African community make a difference? What is your message to people watching and listening to us today? Very especially on the day, inshallah, tomorrow will be the first day of Ramadan. And we know that we as Muslims are very, very giving, but more so in the month of Ramadan.
My message out there is for our brothers and sisters to firstly make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy for those that are in great need. It was only one instance where there were 2,000 people at the camp, and there are many other camps out there with more than hundreds and thousands of people that are displaced. Secondly, is for those out there, Ramadan is at our doorstep, and with humbly request for those to pour out and contribute to these efforts, such as food aid, medical supplies, as it will make a huge difference to these people. And we know, they are in need of such serious attention, and it will bring such relief to them. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward those who have already contributed and brought ease to these families.
Inshallah, Amin. How do people go about making their contributions?
Okay, with Al-Imdaad Foundation, you can contact us on www.alimdaad.co.za or alimdaad.co.uk.
Inshallah, Irfaan Ahmed, Allah accept your efforts and the efforts of the entire organization, inshallah. May you guys touch lives in a positive way, continue making a meaningful difference, and undoubtedly the South Africans, the Muslim community especially, are going to truly dig really deep into their hearts and their pockets and start changing the lives of those people who have been so badly affected by Cyclone Freddy. Allah guide and protect you all and accept your efforts. Keep us in your du'as in this month of Ramadan, and Ramadan Mubarak to you and all your loved ones.
I mean, Jazakallah to you so much, and as well as our viewers and listeners out there who have already made a change into these people's lives, and we ask you to continue making difference in elsewhere as well. And Ramadan Mubarak to you and to your listeners out there.
Ameen, Ameen,
Assalamu
Thumma
alaikum.
Ameen. Wa alaikum assalam. It is exactly 9:52. News and views wrapping up in a minute or two. We are going to be talking with Maulana Sabri Davids. He is the Imam at Al-Masjidut Thani. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Al-Masjidut Thani in Rocklands, Mitchell's Plain. He's going to talk to us about tips on how to make the most of your Ramadan 2023.